Welcome back to The Signal and the Noise. I'm your host, back for episode 4.
And I'm your co-host, episode 4, and man, today's topic is a bit mind-bending.
Why's that?
Because today we're talking about how you won't be the same person in 6 months. And this isn't some motivational pep talk. This is pure psychology and neuroscience.
Exactly. Today's episode is You Won't Be the Same Person in 6 Months, How to Master Anything Fast. And once again, it's based on a powerful article by Dan Koe.
Dan Koe again! We've talked about him in the last 3 episodes too. But honestly, every article of his is so deep.
Totally. And today's article might be the most profound yet, because Dan talks about survival and how your entire identity is actually a collection of survival strategies.
Wait, what does that mean?
It means that everything you think, feel, or do, it's all rooted in survival. Your entire personality, your habits, your reactions, they're all survival mechanisms.
So basically, we're all living in survival mode?
Most people, yes. And that's exactly why changing your life is so damn hard. But today we're going to break down Dan's mastery method, how you can break out of this survival mode and actually master anything.
This sounds worth listening to. Let's dive in.
So let's start with the most fundamental concept. Dan says, your identity is not who you are, it's a collection of survival strategies.
Whoa, that's a heavy statement.
Right? And it's crucial to understand this. Look, animals survive physically, they use claws, teeth, camouflage. But humans? We survive physically and psychologically.
Psychologically meaning?
Meaning we survive our identity, our beliefs, our worldview. Dan calls this conceptual survival. Our body is made of genes, but our psyche is made of memes.
Memes? Like internet memes?
No, memes here mean units of culture or ideas that spread from mind to mind, like religions, political parties, corporations. These are all structures that protect and perpetuate ideas.
Okay, so when someone insults my favorite sports team and I get upset?
That's your survival mechanism. You're defending your identity. And that's the problem. All of this is happening unconsciously. You're reacting, not choosing.
So I'm working like a robot?
In a way, yes. Dan says most people are actually asleep. They're living on autopilot. Born asleep, live asleep, die asleep.
Damn, that's depressing.
But this is also where hope comes from. Because if you understand this, you can change it. And that's what Dan's mastery method teaches.
Okay, so if everything is survival, why is changing your life so difficult?
Perfect question. Dan gives a really good analogy. Think of your identity like a house.
Okay.
If you wanted to completely remodel that house, would you just start tearing down walls or ripping out the foundation?
No way, the whole house would collapse.
Exactly. So you start slowly, floors, plumbing, one small wall. Gradually, the house transforms. But if you don't understand why this process is so painful, you'll quickly retreat back to comfort.
So when I try to wake up early or go to the gym,
you're basically replacing a wall in your psychological house. And your survival system sees it as a threat.
Because it's threatening my night owl identity or my lazy person identity.
Bingo! And here Dan introduces another important concept, psychic entropy.
Psychic entropy, what's that?
Basically, if you don't pursue growth and improvement, your life naturally gets worse. Like a house, if you don't maintain it, it starts to rot.
So basically, either grow or slowly die.
Sadly, yes. But the good news is, Dan gives us a clear strategy to break out of this.
So now we get to the actual mastery method. Step 1, expand your mind.
How do I expand my mind?
Through vision generation. Dan says all real change is identity change, and your level of mind dictates what values, beliefs, and standards are available to your identity.
So I need to create a big vision?
Exactly. But here's the trick. You're not setting this goal for achievement. You're setting it for vision, direction, and filtration.
Explain that.
Look, Dan says goals are actually points of view. When you set a massive goal, like I'll lose 20 pounds in 6 months, or I'll start my own business, you're actually gaining a new perspective.
And what does that perspective give me?
It shows you which opportunities align with your goal and which don't. Dan says, filter every single opportunity through your vision. Say no to everything except what aligns with who you want to become.
So basically, my vision becomes a filter.
Perfect. And Dan gives some powerful questions to create your vision. Like, if you had all the money in the world, what would your average day look like? Where do you want to live? How do you want to look and feel?
This is sounding a bit overwhelming.
So Dan gives another trick. Also create an anti-vision. Write out what you don't want. This rounds out your perspective.
Interesting. So basically, I'm creating clarity from both the positive and negative side.
Exactly. And remember, nothing is permanent. As you trek along, you'll discover what you actually want.
All right, so I've created my vision. Now what?
Step 2, create a hierarchy of goals. Dan says, most people don't need motivation, they need clarity.
So I need to break my big goal into smaller goals?
Yes, 10-year goals, 1-year goals, monthly goals, weekly goals. And then every day, you write down 3 to 5 priority tasks that move you toward these goals.
And I do these tasks first thing in the morning?
Bingo! Dan says, knock these out first thing before responsibilities and distractions wake up. This literally rewires your survival patterns.
Okay, goals are clear. Now how do I actually do them?
Step 3, turn your goals into projects. And here, Dan makes a really important point. Learning comes from struggle, not memorization.
So watching tutorial videos isn't enough?
Exactly. You don't learn by watching tutorials. You learn by building a project and facing reality. Dan says, start, then learn.
So I start first, then learn?
Yes, because when you're actually building something, that's when you face real problems. And to solve those problems, you need new knowledge.
That makes sense. Tutorials give you theoretical knowledge, but not practical.
Exactly. And Dan goes further. Don't learn skills, acquire techniques.
Techniques, what's that?
Look, you don't learn Photoshop as a skill. You learn individual techniques, how to remove backgrounds, how to color correct, how to add text, and then you combine these techniques.
So a skill is actually a collection of techniques.
Perfect! Dan gives the example of copywriting. You don't learn copywriting. You learn techniques for capturing attention, holding attention, enhancing value. Every skill is made of techniques like this.
This is actually a really practical approach.
Now comes the most radical step. Reinvent yourself.
Reinvent myself. What does that mean?
Dan says, think of your mind as the digestive system of reality. If you eat too much or don't move enough, you can't metabolize that experience.
Interesting analogy.
And Dan says that intentionally reinventing yourself is actually controlled identity, death, and rebirth. Your old survival strategies will fight this because they see change as a threat.
So what do I do?
Launch yourself into a new environment, physical or digital. Dan says, move across the country, unfollow everyone online, follow people aligned with your future, change what you wear, where you shop, who you see.
Those are drastic changes.
Yes, because your old identity will only die when it doesn't get the information that reinforces it. Dan says, align all information with who you want to become.
This is scary, honestly.
An example. Dan acknowledges this. He says, hold strong during this extremely difficult, yet extremely meaningful turning point in your life.
So basically, pain is inevitable, but worth it.
Exactly.
Okay, while doing all this, I'll make mistakes, right? And Dan says,
that's the whole point. Mistakes are nature's compass.
Nature's compass. Good analogy.
Yes, Dan says people are so afraid of making mistakes that they make the biggest mistake of all, not making mistakes.
So mistakes are actually good?
Yes, because they give you direction. Dan gives the example of a self-driving car. It made millions of mistakes before it could navigate properly. Same with you. You'll need to make mistakes.
And then?
And then, Dan's last step, treat your life as a science project. Self-experimentation is how problems get solved for good.
Science project meaning?
Hypothesize an outcome, experiment with techniques, document the process, double down on results. Dan gives a great example with veganism.
Veganism?
Yeah, imagine you want to lose weight. Someone says, try veganism, you do it, get results. Now, most people attach to veganism and say, only this works.
But what actually happened?
Actually, you ate nutrient-dense food, followed discipline, got clarity. Veganism was just a modality, but you gave it all the credit.
So what does Dan suggest?
Try veganism for a month, carnivore for a month, keto for a month. Experiment. Then you'll understand what the fundamentals actually are, and you can build your perfect system.
Transcend dietary tribalism.
Exactly. And you can use this approach in every domain: finances, relationships, fitness, everything.
Wow. Today's episode was really heavy.
It was. Let's extract the key signals.
Signal number 1. Your identity is actually a collection of survival strategies, and most people are living unconsciously on autopilot.
Signal number 2. Changing your life is hard because you're remodeling your psychological house, and your survival system sees it as a threat.
Signal number 3. Expand your mind with a massive vision. This isn't for goal achievement, but for perspective and filtration.
Signal number 4. Create a hierarchy of goals. From big vision down to daily tasks, clarity is key.
Signal number 5. Learning comes from building, not watching tutorials. Start first, then learn.
Signal number 6. Don't learn skills, acquire techniques. Skills are just collections of techniques.
Signal number 7. Reinvent yourself by changing your environment, physical and digital. Starve your old identity.
And signal number 8. Mistakes are nature's compass. Treat your life as a science project and experiment constantly.
Core message? You won't be the same person in 6 months if you intentionally transcend your survival strategies and consciously rebuild your identity.
And all of this is possible if you follow Dan's mastery method. Vision, goals, projects, techniques, reinvention, mistakes, experimentation, these are all the steps.
So here's your challenge this week. Do a vision generation session. Answer those questions we discussed. Write out where you want to be in 6 months, 1 year, 10 years.
And start one small project, anything. Fitness, business idea, some skill. Just start and keep making mistakes.
And that's episode 4 of The Signal and the Noise. Honestly, today's episode was eye-opening for me too.
Same. Dan Koe's work is truly next level. We'll link Dan's full article in the show notes. Seriously, go read it, there's even more depth there.
Next week, we're covering a completely new topic. Stay tuned.
Until next time, cut through the noise, find the signal. Jitcha.
See you next week.